Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back at you with another talk. This time we've got a member of chat, also known as Guy Fawkes, and Maya Danova. Many names, one great personality, and a very interesting story that we're going to share here. Guy, Maya, how do you want me to call you today?
As you like. I don't mind. Nice being here, by the way.
Welcome. You've been a long-time member, a long-time follower, I should say, and member of chat. And you've, how can I say, earned your right to have a say in chat by your opinions and takes on various subjects, and your contribution in memes, of which we have many today. Where's the Trump classic one? We'll do the Trump classic one first. You shared this after the
yeah.
What was it called?
It was a great show, you know.
It was definitely interesting. If it was for entertainment purposes, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was a good production also. Fooled most.
Yeah, mostly. Do you wanna tell us who you are and something else maybe about yourself that you want to uncover, unlike your face, which you want to keep private?
Yeah, I thought it would, look interesting. I tried to look like a CIA guy or something. No, I'm just a shy person. So yeah, I can just give a background of who I am. I'm retired, so I'm plus 60. I'm over 60 years of age. I live in Europe, and my upbringing, background like that. I got to travel a lot all over the world because of my parents' work. Did a lot of travel alone also to different continents in the world. And after finishing school, I joined the military. Was there for some years in the military academy.
And this was around what time? Like in the 80s, I'm guessing, or in the 90s?
Yeah, in the 80s, beginning of the 80s, or end of 70s. So I was in the military for more than 4 years. Finished like a lieutenant, as a lieutenant. And I was into my area of work was communications and intelligence. But I didn't pursue that career. In my 20s, I became interested in. I read some books that had quite some impact on my life.
Is this after the army? You're saying? In your 20s, after the army?
It was around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
As I was there. So I I read "We Never Went to the Moon" by Bill Kaysing, and I read a lot of books, but the three books that had the biggest impact on me, on my life, were probably "We Never Went to the Moon," "The Protocols of Zion," and the Bhagavad Gita.
When you say "we never went to the moon," a lot of people, not myself, but a lot of other people might ask, "What do you mean we never went to the moon?" Because my waking up journey also started with the moon fake story, and it started around the age of 20, 23, maybe something like that. And it was I came across this video. It was like 20 minutes, and it showed all the Hasselblad. I think they're the photographs. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hasselblad cameras, and it showed that some of the crosses were like behind some of the objects on the pictures, and so on and so forth. You know, all these little details. Maybe you want to get into some of that.
Well, there were many anomalies in the so-called documentation of that, another production. And so they missed a lot of things. Many anomalies in those pictures. And there are, for instance, reused backgrounds, and there is no dust under the moon lander, and many things. So it was kind of not very difficult to realize that something is not adding up.
Something else is going on. Yeah. Something is lurking under the surface. Okay, so then you said you read that, and what else did you read?
The protocols of Zion.
I'll pretend like I don't know anything about that. I'll pretend like I don't know anything, and you can tell them because you have a mask. Why don't you tell them what this strange book is? It's a fake, apparently. It's obviously a fake.
It is a fake. Of course, it's a fake, but it's a very good fake because everything which is outlined in that in those texts. I mean, I've seen it unfold for 40 years. Exactly these things. So, a very
40
good
years,
fake.
huh?
Yeah.
But what does it say in the Protocols of Zion?
Well, it basically outlines the controlled society, starting with the economy, the degradation of human society in terms of moral and ethics and etc.
And why would they want to do that?
Well, we can come back to that, but the reason, of course, is for control.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then tell us a little bit more about your life story and journey, how it developed from there to where you are now, retired.
Yeah,
happily.
I didn't pursue my military career, but my professional career has been within the field of risk management, and risk management meaning governance, risk, and compliance. The systems, the management systems that large organizations mainly use to control risk, different types of risks. So that's where I've been working. I've had typically assignments. I was sent to some organization or government agency for between 1 and 3 years, and they had some problems with the risk management areas. And so
let's say I'm like a company. I'm like a company, and I make tissue boxes, for example, and I call you to check my risk management profile. What exactly would that involve? What would you actually do?
The first phase is to analyze the steering structure of the company, from the board down to the management team and to the different business areas. These were often large companies that had different business areas, and typically in most companies, the most valuable assets, except for the employees, which are regarded as an important asset, is information. Especially nowadays, information is one of their most critical assets. So yeah, that has to be protected, and it is used in business processes. Maybe you have a patent or whatever, or a secret, or a very efficient way of making tissues, and there is some information there you like to protect. I don't know when making tissues if there is so much secret things there, but it could be anything.
If nothing else,
so
for the
yeah.
tissues, it should be like for a safety concern as well. Like
Yeah,
can
safety is
somebody
also-
can somebody come in and like put a bioweapon on my tissues?
That is true. And the way that large organizations and government agencies control or manage these systems, these management systems, are through standards. There are many different standards for practices. So I would analyze the situation. It starts with steering documents. They have to have clear, steering principles from the board down to. And so the biggest challenges usually are between the business executives and the technological organization that support.
And did you study? Did you study like in university any kind of management, or did you just go straight from the army into that?
Basically, I had some time in between where I was mostly focused on spiritual practices, meditation, and things like that. I got very interested in the spiritual side of things.
Do you want to get a little bit into that? I have some visuals, because like I said, you've been a long time member of chat, and you've said a lot of things that I went through to some of the first things that you said in chat, and I saved a bunch of things here that I wanted to bring up with you so you could like get into more detail for maybe members of chat to like get to know you better. And everybody else who's here for the ride, hi, welcome. This is a comedy show. I forgot to tell you, nothing we say here has anything to do with reality. It's been a while since I've been recording. It's been like a month since I've recorded, and I'm glad to like start it off again with something as relaxed as this recording is turning out to be. And I've got that usual visual here, which I almost forgot about. So yeah, if you'd like, buy me a coffee. Look, you click on the link below and I get a coffee.
Nice.
Good coffee. If you'd like to support me. If you don't like to support me, then you can like click the like button or click the dislike button, or just leave now, because all you people who watch for like 7 minutes and then leave, like, I don't know why you're here. You should like either watch this to the end or not watch it at all. Thank you. Now that that's out of the way, Guy, also known as Maya, do you want to continue with your enlightenment path?
So my interest turned to Hindu religion. So I practiced a lot of meditation and yoga and stuff like that. And then after a while, I got into my professional career. But
I've got yoga pictured here. You sent this in earlier.
Exactly. So yeah, and I didn't have any education for my professional career, which wasn't really needed, because the biggest lack in large organizations is the lack of common sense. And
you have no idea.
They have these challenges and trying to and do things, and they just couldn't together. One of the big reasons for this is that large organizations are compartmentalized in many ways. For instance, they measure business executives on the individual business unit's performance. But the typical business process, spans over a lot of business units. So their challenge is to look at the end-to-end situation. And so that was mainly what I helped them to do. So the only thing needed for that is, an analytical mind or capacity to understand what's going on, and then to communicate this
Yeah.
to the people involved.
So basically, you were like a outsourced analyst, basically, who would come in and look at the situation, give
Yes.
your opinion on how things can be smoothed out, basically streamlined.
And then I was often tasked with driving this, whatever required changes there were. One of the big challenges that they face is the interface between the business, the business part of the organization and the technical support structures, because the business executives don't understand technology and understand.
We'll get more into like the business side of this in the second talk, but I want to get more of your personal story of let's say your trip of this going into the Asian mystical stuff, and how like, were you in Asia? Did you like travel in Southeast Asia, and did you spend time there, or were you working there, or like how did that go?
I wasn't working there, but I spent time in India and other Asian countries, maybe mostly in India, and learned a lot there. They have a different outlook on life.
In Goa?
Or they used to have. They used to have before McDonald's came there.
Were you in Goa, like during the
Never was never in Goa.
No, huh?
I didn't partake in any rave there on the beach, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about. The original raves back in the day. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, I wasn't into that kind of. I was more into, understanding the meaning of life and God and who am I and all these things when I was in India.
And what did you find is the meaning of life? Is it 42?
It is 42, definitely.
One of the older things that you sent in chat was this. And then I was like, what the hell is that? Is that what I think it is? And then you were like, yes, it is what you think it is. It's actually up here, if I recall correctly. On
the meme, on the previous meme, that the square there.
Oh yeah, it's an apple.
Far out.
It's an apple, yeah. It's nuts.
That's really far out.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know how old this film is, but it's a good movie.
It's older than Apple, I think, or maybe not. But yeah, think deep. Deep think. Oh my God, it's deep think. Like what's the name of the Chinese AI?
I don't know.
I forgot.
This
what the name
is
of the
kind
Chinese
of AI is. A prediction of AI.
Yeah, not to mention that they're all in orange.
Yeah.
AI is. What's your take on AI these days? Like, as a let's say person from the generation before me, because like you've seen what I've seen, plus you started long before that. So, how do you feel about this whole AI thing?
Well, basically, it's just another tool to enslave people, to make them stop being humans. A human is supposed to be, or used to be, inquisitive or curious to find out things, and the way it was done was by, practically doing things. Find out and, fuck around and find out. Now you just, type something into AI and it's supposed to give you the answer. And it makes people more, and it's all part of conditioning people gradually to transhumanism.
But
Where
do you think calculators did the same? Do you think it's a tool in the sense that like a calculator is a tool, or is it much more dangerous than that?
No, it's a tool for control. It's the same principle like in the protocols. It's just that it's driven by computer chips. So, yeah.
Got too serious.
People
we
think.
need to... Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry, what would you say? What were you saying? People think
magnets. Well, yeah, they don't think as far as someone has, written the code for it, and the persons that write the code are not neutral. They have a purpose with it, and the purpose is not to, be nice to everyone.
No, well, why? These are nice people who love us all.
Yeah,
equally.
yeah.
You don't know who loves us more,
Exactly.
the Americans or the Chinese.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think loves us
it's
more?
the same thing. I don't think there is a difference.
Just different colors.
They're
of the same
playing
bird?
their part. It's like a big spectacle, a big drama, like a theatric drama. And the purpose of the drama is to, keep people from thinking, basically.
And are we living in Orwell's 1984?
Yeah, I would say. I would say so. What do you think?
Just since I started being the working brother, America has switched sides from being against Russia to with Russia against Ukraine. So, like, they're not at war with Russia anymore. They're at war with China now. So it's basically like in the book, So, yeah, if you haven't seen the book or don't like books, there's also a movie, and well worth the watch.
I mean, all these big so-called antagonists, they share some of the biggest lies. Like we were talking about the moon landing. You saw this Japanese company that was sending something to the moon yesterday or something. Unfortunately, they lost contact with their thing. There was about to land.
Yeah. No, I didn't see.
Or the Indians.
I didn't see it. The Indians, the cartoon by the Indians was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Man. The cartoon by the Indians, it was almost as funny as that Pluto thing that I had popping up here, but in the background. Man, I remember that when we were like watching for Pluto, and Pluto was coming, and then Pluto had a Pluto on it, and I was like, "You're serious now? Pluto has a Pluto on it? Like, how can Pluto have a Pluto on it?" And they're like, "No, this is the real Pluto, and it has a Pluto on it. That's why it's called Pluto." And I was just like, "Okay." And there's people who
And,
actually believe all this thing. Um,
I mean, they get away from it because with it. They get away with it because people don't think anymore.
and it's
They're
not only
becoming
that, but like
rather.
by design, they don't have time. They don't have time to spend on things, and they keep. They're like addicted to the entertainment stuff instead of the knowledge stuff. Let's put it that way.
I would argue that the purpose of the entertainment is just that.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're like crazy conspiracy theories. This is
Like
the video
Trump,
that I wanted to
he's an
play. Why does this keep happening
Local
with this
fail.
thing? Yeah. And then we've got. Come on, can I get next here? Next. There we go. This guy doing a floating thing.
Ориентироваться в 6 направлениях, чтобы настроить навигацию магнитами. Далее включаем катушку Тесла, которую мы приготовили, предварительно
Tesla field.
подключив к генератору. Настроенное устройство
That's why they killed Tesla.
лишь на последнем этапе, используя контроллер. Теперь мы начинаем летать.
Technology is magic to people who don't know, right? That's what they say. That's what they've been saying for forever. I hate when they put this music in the background. I'm gonna get like a strike probably now. In any case, yeah. Space has bubbles, right?
Yeah.
So when did you get from the Bhagavad Gita? Actually, you sent me some links from the Bhagavad Gita. Should I open that up?
I was thinking we could because that's kind of a continuation of the
management
discussion.
stuff.
Yeah, because I'm trying to show different principles, and then end up with some references to the Bhagavad Gita. But
you also send me this. Texas becomes open carry PvP zone in America, person versus person, player versus player. You can carry swords and machetes in Texas starting today, whatever today was, doesn't matter, but like it's before this recording, so Texas.
I sensed that you might be into gaming or anything or something like that. So maybe you played some PvP game.
Yeah, I've played all kinds of games, some of which I've played even here on the channel. But yeah, what was I going to say? So is there anything else that you want to cover before we call this the end of this talk? In the sense that maybe there's some other interesting things that you want to, discuss that are not related to the knowledge and the. Oh, well, let me ask you about this. One of the memes you shared, which covers one of the topics that was discussed in chat recently, John D. and the English language.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe get into John D a bit?
Well, I'm not really an expert per se, but the principle or the what one could take note of is that the principles that rule or govern our present society were established hundreds of years back. So it's the situation we are in now. It's not something that just happened 100 years back or something. It's you take Galileo for instance, and the Catholic Church's interest in cosmology and etc. So yeah, he was yeah, he he did many things, but one of the things he was into was alchemy and wizardry, and that is one of the principles that is ruling this world we're living in. It's basically based on two principles: technology and magic. So
And technology
why I
is just
chose
like a
the name
higher form of
Mayadana.
magic. Technology is just like a higher form of that magic, yeah?
It is. So that is what is controlling humanity. It's technology and magic.
And what were you gonna say? What was the reason that you chose the name?
Yeah. Mayadanava is one character in the old Vedic scriptures, and he's one of the demons there. And his expertise, he was called an architect, just like the Freemasons are architects. But he was very skilled in black magic and in technology. He built aerial ships that could disappear, just like UFOs. And yeah, he did many things, but the basic energy was black magic. And yeah, so this is a thread or a theme that continuously comes back.
Yeah, it permeates through all of culture and like everywhere from architecture down to writing and everything in between, basically.
Michael Sarian, who is a very good researcher, he emphasizes that there are two things one has to understand: its symbology and etymology. Because through symbols one can understand what's going on, and through use of words and etc. So therefore, I thought it was a good name.
Yeah, definitely through symbols and etymology too. I didn't actually hear that from him before, but it does make sense indeed. You sent me this just before we started recording, and I've got to share it here because I've never seen this before, but it makes perfect sense. It's like the mystery solved. They were bowling, you know.
Yeah, of course they were.
It's like a selfie. It's a selfie of them bowling. That's all it is.
Yeah. So just like the memes from Orwell you shared before. So the past and the present and the future is controlled. So the history we are presented with and learning in school, there's not.
Speaking of controllers, do you want to tell us a bit about this picture? One. This is Pepe down here, and who is this person, and what is this up here?
This is Trump's mentor. What's his name? Don't remember now, but he's very famous lawyer.
I'll add it in the description or in the name of the video or something later. But yeah. And what's the history of this picture? So the
frogs are there. And then on the top there you have these the symbols of one of the secret societies which love the symbolism, and this is one of the this is, I think, might be from one movie called The Occult. So an old movie from the beginning of the century or last century. So basically, what the meme implies is that the Pepe, which is so popular amongst the Chan people, is actually a symbol that is from the secret societies. And they are another funny thing is that they're using the term or concept of hive mind, and the hive is also another symbology from the same place.
Yeah, my university had a bee on the wall as soon as you like walk into the main gate. Like nobody could tell me what it was for, but everybody knew.
The working queen or the working bees are serving the queen. Sarian has made a long series about the female Illuminati, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show the contradiction, so to speak. The whole thing is, of course, an intelligence operation. But I was there early when Mr. Q appeared and followed the whole thing.
I was just gonna ask, considering you're older than me and you were into this kind of stuff long before I even discovered it, let's say, and you have stories from the Chan and other places on the internet that existed long ago. Do you want to share any of these experiences? Maybe something that some highlights of like moments that you came across.
Yeah. Basically, it was a very well organized and managed psychological operation. And there was quite a few very smart people there thinking that, okay, we're going to, contribute to taking down the swamp, and they did a lot of research and etc. Some of it was quite good, but I think they could be considered the original memers too, because it was an image board, so a lot of memes all the time. I look at it. I haven't.
Are you implying that all memes basically originally were intelligence operations?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, they are a kind of an expression of people of people's thoughts, and so there are so many different memes, and memes, they are, in one sense, they are symbols, so they carry energy. In ancient India, they had these something called yantras, which were different types of symbols in different forms, and these symbols carry specific energy. So memes do that also similarly, in a similar way. But depending, of course, what kind of meme it is. But memes can make people think if they're well done.
Yeah, that is one of the secret weapons inside in this war against the globalists that we do have. Making people think, I mean. This is a comedy show, in case you forgot. Nothing we say here has anything to do with reality. I have to get a shirt. I'm going to be making shirts soon, and I might be giving them away to some patrons and other close friends of the show, as in me, because I am the show, one-man show. You get it? Okay. Moving right along. Guy, also known as Maya, you bought this mask just for this interview. You're not like a regular Guy Fawkes. You chose.
I'm
a
regular guy.
Yeah, you're a regular guy, but not a Guy Fawkes. Like you're not Guy Fawkes regularly, is what I was trying to say.
No, I'm not.
Like you don't wear the mask out in public.
No,
they
I'm
they
not
shouldn't
an
look for you
activist.
with the mask. I was gonna say, your name Maya implies that you might be female, or your like online handle. So when I asked you if you were, you sent me the tits or GTFO argument, and I'm gonna flash it up here on screen for people, and they can maybe pause and read it in detail. And do you wanna basically outline what this is from and the history of tits or GTFO,
Okay.
and how it works basically?
Well, it's an anonymous board. The chants are supposed to be an anonymous board. Nobody is giving away their identity. Everyone has to handle anon. And so some ladies there, made it obvious that they were ladies, and that was not appreciated because everyone was supposed to be anonymous. So they were asked to to show their tits if they were ladies, or get the fuck out. And some unfortunate ladies did do that, and so of course they were scolded for doing that. So that's the meaning of it.
From what I understand, it basically means like the fact you're a female makes no difference on the internet. If your argument is not
exactly
valid, your argument is not valid. Like you can't appeal to emotion because like, oh, I'm a woman and my story makes you sad.
On the internet, everybody is anonymous. So you don't get any points for being a lady.
What do you say to people? I have friends.
They put it very harsh in that text, that you showed. We can't F you here on the internet, so we don't care if you're a lady. That's how they.
I was gonna say I have I have friends and content creators also who are very against like the anonymous people online idea, in the sense that like when people give an opinion in their chats or whatever, and the people don't have names or pictures, and they don't they have made up things, their opinions are not valid. You know what I mean? And on the other hand, you're telling me that everyone's anonymous on the internet. So, like, I kind of find this balance in between. But what would you say to this argument that, like, online people? Well,
the beautiful thing with everyone being anonymous is that it's not who you are that matters. Have any matter? It is what you say. But in our normal society, it's just the opposite. It's who you are that counts. And even if you do a 300-degree turn, you are considered.
You're still facing 180 degrees. You're still facing 180 degrees the wrong way. Yeah. Even if you do a 360 turn.
You can become the president of the United Nations even if you do a 360-degree turn.
Man.
So that
since I've been recording last, so many things have happened that are just unbelievable. Like, to catch up with all the unbelievable things, I'm gonna have to start a new series on this channel. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to like do Working Brother updates with like 3-minute like me just telling you, can you believe this shit happened? I can't believe this shit happened. Okay, see you soon.
It's actually outside your channel where the comedy show is.
Yeah, I know. Like everything other than this is absurd comedy. It's the theater of the absurd, basically, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've... oh, wait. I want to get into Abramovich as well, because I'd rather cover her here then cover her in the next talk. The next one will be more structured and more. You sent this along a long time ago in 2024. That's Abramovich right there in the corner.
Lady Gaga.
They're doing. That's Gaga, huh? Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There's some more.
Making advertisement for Bill Gates.
Yeah. And of course, BlackRock. In case you guys need a definition, here's a definition.
Quite interesting.
Brought to you by Maya. In this case, at least. And I think that's all we have for this one, other than this that I wanted to pop up before we get it over. Is there anything that you'd like to say first as we close this talk out?
No, very nice to chat with you. Appreciate your work, and I think you're a very cool guy. So, yeah. But
thank you.
Otherwise, no.
Appreciate your coming on the show. Appreciate your support over the years and your excellent sense of humor and understanding and patience with the other members in chat who have yet to reach your level of, how should I say, open-mindedness, right?
Well, no problem.
We've got the music here in the background, and where do you think we're headed? I was gonna go to get some fries on the pier. No, I mean the big picture. What is the culminating result of consciousness? Where does this path end? I still feel like it has nothing to do with those fries on the pier. And on that bombshell, I think that's enough for today. Like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. Maya, again, thank you for being here. And stay on the line. We will be right back with another recording. For you guys, it might be a day, it might be two, depending on my upload schedule and whatnot. All right, see you guys later. Peace.